Dedicated to the dreamers. Yeah. Life in the grind. It's dedicated to the dreamers. It's life in the grind. Dedicated to the dreamers. Dream big, have faith, work hard. Never quit, put your trust in God. Stay chill and remember who you are. Never forget how you made it this far. Dream big, have faith, work hard. Never quit, put your trust in God. Stay chill and remember who you are. Never forget how you made it this far. I feel like this world is trying to break my soul. I said no, I said no, I said no, you can't take it now. Come a long way, but still so far to go. Yeah, I know I can make it. I guess they forgot about me. A couple people still asking about me.
What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody is well. Appreciate you all tuning in. Just want y'all to check out this interview I have with some good friends of mine, Dr. William and Sister Lizette Goodloe. Some dynamic folks. They're part of an organization called Behind the Whistle. They got a nice, good Zoom event coming up this Thursday and want you all to spread the word. Also, be on tune. June 1st is going to be something big for me. I'm starting my own podcast. It's called The Root of It All. So trying to get the little kinks out, get my interview skills up so I won't say a lot of uhs and does and whats. But looking forward to that. That podcast, the first episode, will let you know what that podcast is going to be based on, but want to be real and want to be authentic. Also want to be entertaining. So it's something that I've had on my radar for a long time. So I think it's just about time to just launch that thing and quit being afraid to succeed, like my dad used to tell me years ago. So check out this interview. Let me know what you think. Like it and share it. For those you know who are interested in what they're going to be talking about this coming Thursday, definitely subscribe to all their social outlets that you'll see in the description below. Y'all take care. Be blessed. We'll see you soon. All right. What's going down, everybody? Hopefully everybody is well. This recording is coming to you on Sunday. We appreciate you all being here. This is our interview with the Goodloes. These are the founders, the owners of a dynamic organization called Behind the Whistle. We're going to have a little talk about how they've been doing and also talk about something that they got it coming up this week on Zoom. All right. Goodloes, how y'all doing on this evening?
We're doing all right.
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. How have y'all been doing so far during this transition of COVID-19?
I think it's been interesting trying to play multiple roles as teachers, our real job as parents, and ensuring that we are giving our own son, Omri, all the attention he needs during this time because he's by himself in here. There's no siblings, so we have to play all the games and cards and everything on top of having to be a teacher for all the students that we still have to work with. So yeah. It's been difficult to juggle those things. Yeah.
And just a little bit about this power couple. We're talking to the now Dr. William Goodloe and his wife Lizette. They are educators and they're high school educators. And I'm going to let them share a little bit about their background about that. So y'all go ahead and share with that.
Okay, well, like you said, I just finished my doctorate program here a couple weeks ago in sport management at the United States Sports Academy. By trade, I am an English teacher. I'm working here in San Antonio in Northside ISD. I've been in education in some form or other for about 19 years now. I just, I have a good time working with what people would label as at risk, but are at promise, depending on your perspective. I just call them gems that haven't been cleaned off or polished and shined up. And so we have a great time doing that. I try to be a provoker of thought and an engager in different ways, and just try to push the envelope to challenge, kind of the status quo or complacency. We want to help our kids be the absolute best reflection of themselves at all times. And sometimes the system hasn't allowed that to take place. And so we push through that and engage how we can.
So I am sitting at year 17 of teaching. We're lucky enough to be on the same, and I say lucky, we're blessed enough to be on the same campus. I'm the avid coordinator and avid elective teacher, and my goal is to make sure that all of my students are ready for life after high school, whether that be community college, military, or four-year university. So we are building a program on our campus that will eventually turn into an entire system that will help all of our students on campus be college and career ready, no matter when they decide to go. And it's been a blessing to work with those kids in that capacity. I have a senior class that so far has earned about $2.5 million in scholarships,
Oh, nice.
with a vast majority of them being first generation college students. So it's a really big honor to work with them, and that replaced my coaching. It's a different type of coaching now. It's the life coaching, which I think goes even farther.
Sure, definitely. And also, too, what you all need to know about the Goodloes is they are coaches, may not be coaching anymore at this point in time, but Dr. Goodloe had been a football coach, especially at John Jay. He's also a former football player at the University of Texas. And then Lizette coached volleyball. Did you coach anything else besides volleyball?
Yes, and basketball, track, softball, all of it. But the majority, my focus was volleyball.
Awesome, awesome. Definitely appreciate that. And so during this all changed, talk to us about how has all this been working with COVID? You all are educators. We all know people have been doing this Zoom. How has that been going for you all for your classes?
Well, Zoom has been interesting. I mean, I think one of the blessings of it is being able to transition into the technology. But I guess simultaneously learning that there are there's some deficiencies that exist. And so what we've learned working on our campus specifically, and I'm sure we're not alone, I know we're not alone, is it's all fine and dandy to transition to technology, but you got to make sure your children and your students have devices to use.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that they have access to the internet or the Wi-Fi. And those have been some of the biggest obstacles that we ran into. I think at one point, just like a lot of districts or large districts in particular, that we were operating maybe at like 40% capacity with the students having devices, maybe even less than that. I don't know. I know it was less than 50. And so that's been a big obstacle, is trying to make sure that we could get the kids the tools necessary to succeed, but also get the infrastructure in place to make sure that they could do it in a timely manner. Because we had kids, you have multi-student homes. And so if you have a elementary student, a middle school student, a high school student, they all have to do work.
Yeah.
And data was limited, especially in the situation where we had to provide the mobile hotspots for the kids to access the information.
Right.
So students were burning that up like the first day and not getting the work done, and they couldn't get back on until the following week.
Yeah.
And so that's been an interesting obstacle, but I tell you, it's been interesting, and it's been cool to see the responses from the students who were able to get on while we're obviously dealing with some of that natural heartbreak and disappointment that came with being unable to reach certain kids who didn't have that capability, but also, and I apologize for being on, but also the children who transitioned into being breadwinners in their homes.
Yeah.
Having to go to work, so now you go from going to 8 periods a day to working 12 hours a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, I think that's the conversation probably for another time, but it's a part of it.
Absolutely. Most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in this, talk to us behind the whistle. Behind the whistle. Of course, I'm a big supporter of Behind the Whistle.
Yes,
Tell us how Behind the Whistle gets started, how that vision come about, and definitely, what is the overall vision and goal for Behind the Whistle?
Well, I think our vision, we went to the Black Student Athlete Summit at UT in 2018. And we started listening to the different conversations that were being had. People were talking about youth sports and college sports, and missed everything in between from grade 7 through 12, and the high schools specifically. So this interscholastic space that no one was talking about. So we on the drive back, we just had a conversation about, look, we need to do something for the people that are in it, the people that are boots on the ground. We are working with these kids. We are working with other coaches that don't have access to this information because we just don't know. And I think a lot of times when we are in the space that we are in, we get so like focused on just what's happening at the P through 12 level, and we forget what happens at the collegiate level. So we did that. We held our first symposium that summer of 2018, and it was really successful. We had the second one last summer. And then this summer, as we are still in the state, we're going to transition to an online conference, and it's going to be a day and a half, and we're hoping to get everyone in a solution-oriented mode as we move into this next school year, because I think that's what we're missing. We're missing the solutions. We know all the problems that are happening with COVID-19, and our students are going to come back with a lot of deficits, and our athletes, it's like starting over again. So we need those solutions, and we're going to bring practitioners and people together so we can have those active conversations. So that's taking place July 17th and 18th. And we are working on the platform, the learning management system, so that everyone will have access to that. Some of the other things that we have in play, we're working on the curriculum to help coaches that are coaching right now. So our in-service coaches, along with our pre-service, because when you're in a pre-service education program, and you want to be a coach, there's really not a whole lot for you in the educational programs because their focus is so content driven. I wanted to be a coach, but luckily I'm a coach's kid, so I grew up around it. But other people that you don't know anything, you go in and what's your coaching philosophy? What are you talking about? I don't know. No one's asked those questions. So we want to provide those types of resources and that information for pre-service and in-service teachers and coaches.
Awesome. Well, this is going to be the third year. I'm real excited about that. And from my personal experience, what I love about this is just the intimacy in these workshops, in these symposiums, being able to get the experts. We have other doctors who are experts in their field, who come out and talk about those things as far as a mental health capacity. When we talk about opportunities for female athletes and coaches, we come to the aspect of, strength training and things of that nature. And you're getting all these experiences that I think that is integral and important, especially when we talk about high school coaches who may not have it in their budget to even go to any workshops. This is extremely affordable. And again, I support this, ever since its infancy, and we'll continue to support it. Real excited about what's going to take place in July. But before we even get into July, as excited as I am about that, there is something major and big coming this Thursday, May the 21st. Talk to us about that.
So my good friend, Haley Eckerman, who is a Longhorn legend and a big name in the volleyball world, we had an idea. We saw a posting of an event that was taking place. There were a lot of coaches on there, a lot of volleyball coaches from across the country. But what we didn't see were people that looked like us. And we decided that we wanted to do something about it. So we put our minds together. We've created this webinar series. There will be 4 different webinars. This Thursday, we are going to start with the volleyball coaches at different levels. So we have a high school coach, a college coach, a club volleyball coach, and then we have a mental health professional. And it was important that we brought all 3 together because they all work together in the volleyball world. Now, when COVID-19 started and we went into this quarantine, club volleyball was right in the middle of their season. Well, USA Volleyball, all of a sudden, it has had to make some changes. High school coaches are now relying on club volleyball to get them prepared for during the off season. And then it's also a big time for our college coaches to recruit because they go to these big club tournaments and that's where they do most of the recruiting. So it's affected all the levels. So we decided to bring those three levels together along with a mental health professional to help our coaches and our students, but also our parents, learn a little bit more about what's going on and what to expect, because the start date for each level is going to be a little bit different. And I know there's some big news coming out with USA Volleyball now, because the national tournament is still on for the end of June, the beginning of July. So that's going to impact a lot of different people at that point. And then we have the following week, we will follow that with some professional players and former college volleyball players that have just graduated. And now what's that transition like? Then we follow that with some people that are going to talk specifically about diversity or the lack thereof in the volleyball world. And we will end our series with a reboot, re-energize yourself with Dr. Pat Ivey, who is going to talk about the mental aspect of it. Dr. Gill, who's going to talk about the social side of it, and what we need to do to help these young women and these coaches get back into the swing of things. We have a strength and conditioning coach that will be on at that time as well. And then another, Dr. Mari Ross, will be on to talk about some more of the behavioral side of things and how she can help, how her organization can really help teams and coaches as they come back together, and that cohesiveness. So we're excited about the event. Haley she draws a lot of people, obviously, because she's a Longhorn legend, but she is really, really involved, and she's coaching right now at Tarleton. And she's going to talk about her transition from one university to another during this time, because she hasn't really met a lot of the girls that she's going to coach next season.
Okay. Awesome. Well, that's beautiful. Well, again, like I said, I'm excited about it. I know nothing of volleyball except for spiking, kills, and digs and serving. Whether the ball is in or out. I know about aces, but it's going to be awesome to be able to witness this and have, a lot of game lessons coming from this. And it's going to be this Thursday. We're going to put in the Zoom link. We're going to put in all that information that you need to know in the description below. So definitely, everyone volleyball wise, or just coaches wise, that want to be a part of this, definitely spread the word, like it and share it. Definitely help us get this word out, because more than anything else, we want to be able to help those who are not able to gain this knowledge to be able to have that opportunity. And it could be all in the comfort of your home or wherever you're going to be on May 21st. You just don't want to miss this, though. I highly encourage you to tune into this. Definitely appreciate the Goodloes for being here. We're going to have them on plenty more times as we go along in a lot of things, especially when we lead up to July. But is there anything else y'all like to share?
Make sure you tune in to the root of it all. Make sure you check us out on the Ancestor Architect podcast. Be on the lookout for another sport-specific webinar series that'll be launching right after the volleyball Think Outside the Box series we have with Haley Eckerman. We will have some more exciting news to come about that. That'll happen right after our symposium in July. We also have our curriculum, our coaching curriculum, which will launch in July 24th or 25th, I'm sorry. We'll launch that. And let's just build great ancestors together. Let's see if we can make things better for our children and our grandchildren.
Definitely. Awesome. Well, greatly appreciate that. If you want to follow Dr. Goodloe, Lizette, on their social handles, that's going to be also in the description below. Definitely tune in. You'll be up to date with the most announcements, the most news and events that they're going to have coming up. And we greatly appreciate y'all. You all take it easy. We appreciate it. Everybody take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Feel like this world is trying to break my soul. I said no, you can't take it now. Come a long way, but still so far to go. Yeah, I know I can make it. I guess they forgot about me. A couple people still asking about me. I know my critics doubt me, thought I faded away. I just fell back.